Okay, I'm going to create a series of Mundane Warfare scripts for Alibaba and the Young Woodcutter. That's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, Alibaba and the Young Woodcutter, not the Treasure of Knowledge, the Young Woodcutter. So I've created a guide for using 3 ghost generals, not hashtag ghost generals, 3 ghost generals. Just the ghost generals are upgraded in the usual way with all the tomes and manuscripts and codices, sorry. And that's the basis of it. The whole thing is done in waves. So you'll see the first wave is 3 attacks to get rid of sectors 1 and 2. The next wave will be an attack, 2 attacks to get rid of sector 3, then sector 4, then sector 5. But what I've done is I've numbered the attacks by the sectors. So even though this says number 1 and that's 2 and that's 3, it's actually only taking out the sectors 1 and 2. These happen to be the waves that I've used the sector numbers for. Just using the sectors, not sector numbers for something different. So I have pre-filled my GG01 with the appropriate army, GG02 and GG03 for the first 3 of those. And I have also filled up one of my quartermasters with the troops I need for the other other attacks, and I always overkill. That's just so I don't have to come back and send more. So the first thing I'm going to do is here in my shortcuts, I'm going to go to options and I'm going to set up a partition for this. So I'm going to go partition and I'm going to call this Young Woodcutter 3 Ghosts, like that. You'll see it appears here as a partition up the top. If we go back to the root partition, it'll be down the bottom, and I actually want it to be here. You'll see I've already got one for what I call my Dark Lords. They're my ghost generals that are upgraded differently to my normal ghost generals. So I'm going to hit save changes, otherwise it won't be there. And what happens now is you'll see that I've got a sub-menu. So that's what a partition does. It creates sub-menus. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create what I like to call the loader. So we're going to load our 3 ghost generals and our quartermaster and send them off. So first thing we need to do is, of course, start a Young Woodcutter. There we go. And I've got to wait for it to start, and you'll see how long it takes for it to start on my computer. Look at your thumbs. I might even speed this up. Oh no, there it goes. That's good. That was quick. We've got to wait for the icon to appear. There it is. I like to drag mine into the bar down the bottom, just so you know I'm actually in the guild. Yeah. We go to Mundane Warfare, and I've emptied everything else, and I am just going to send that quartermaster and these 2 guys, the 3 guys. They're the ones I want to send. You'll see every other general I've got, I've got a few, either in my star menu or they're empty. I don't need to do anything with this select here. I just want to save this as a template. I'm going to save it just so, because I started mine with armies, I'm going to save it as an army, and I am going to go, instead of calling it my Boris loader, I am going to call it my 3 Ghost Generals loader. Whether you've got the .txt or not on the end doesn't make any difference to the file. So I'm going to get rid of it because I want to. It just makes things easier in a minute. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to close this for now. I'm going to actually unload all those guys again. I know I've loaded them, but I've unloaded them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into my Young Woodcutter 3 Ghosts partition. So I'm going to add an item. No, I'm not. I'm going to change to that partition, Young Woodcutter 3 Ghosts. Then I'm going to add an item. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's an army, a move, or an attack. It doesn't matter at all. So I just choose army. Find my template in here. Army YWC 3GG loader. Open. You'll see it gives you that. And I'm going to put the word load there. And after you put any item into the shortcuts, it's best to hit save before you put anything else in. It doesn't like, it just doesn't like putting anything else in there. So if you put 2 things in, it'll actually only save the last one, or it messes up a little bit. So I find the best thing to do is put something in, change its name, save it, and then test it. So if I go shortcuts, 3 Ghosts, army load, you'll see here, this is telling me that they aren't ready to go. Down here, I can hit load army, click on the button, telling me it's done all 3 of them, all 4 now. It gives the client a moment to get that all ready. And now I can just send it. And I can send it to Alibaba, the Young Woodcutter. Now, of course, that's going to take a moment or two. So we will pause, and when we come back, we'll be ready to see them arrive at YWC. So they're arriving in a minute. I've split the screen in half. I've got the client on the left and my Swift simulator on the right. Not all of it. We don't need to see all of it. I know where the I don't need to look at the map to see where I'm going, because I'll show you how we do that. Here they come. So it'll just be my ghosts at the moment because my quartermaster takes a bit longer. I've got 10-minute ghosts and a 15-minute quartermaster here. So I'm going to wait for them all to load, and then I'm going to move them, and I'm going to move them out of the landing zone. The reason we're going to do that is because we're going to move it. I want to move everything, all right? So if I move it out of the landing zone, then that makes life a bit easier. So I have my ghost generals numbered, so I know which one I'm going to use first, second, and third. So I'm going to put this one in here, and I'm going to put this one here, although it doesn't actually matter where you put them. In fact, why don't I do this? I'm going to put them in a row up here. And I know that's going to be a pain because GG2 is going to move and then I'm going to move it again. But that's all right. We can zip through that. Okay, so now GG2 is in place. I'm going to go to, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We need to look at where these ghost generals are going to end up. So GG1 is going to end up at this camp, the one with the, I just think of the numbers 120, 81. GG2 is going to end up going to this camp, the 150, and GG3 is going to go to 80, 91. So I'm going to move that out of the way, but we'll keep it in our heads. That's what we're moving to. Actually, I know what I'll do. I will. Mundane Warfare. We're going to make another script, another one of those things. What are they called? Template? No, I'll think of the word later. So I just want to select my 3. I happen to have 3 here at the moment. I'll show you what I'll do with my quartermaster when he arrives in a little while. So what I need to do is I need to send my GG1, who happens to be have 50 mounted swordsmen and 180, whatever the other ones are. I never remember. And I want to select where they're going to attack. Now, when you look at the sectors here, they don't always line up the way that we do in our guides, but you just have to work out where's where. So we're looking for the one that's 120, 81. There it is there. And you can see that it highlights. And as I roll over each of these camps, the map moves and the camp highlights. So I want to send that first general to that camp. And I'm going to set the delay to be 1 second. I can't set it to 0. Okay. Now my second general, he is going to a camp in over here. So it's not going to anywhere in here. It's going to this middle camp here in Sector 2. So I'm going to change to what's correctly numbered Sector 2, but as I say, they're not always correctly numbered. You've got to find them sometimes. And it's the one with 150 guys with a red bandana. There it is, and it's highlighted for me, and that's good. Now I've sent it there. Now I need to add a delay. So this is going to be how long it sits there and waits after the first one has left. So the first one will leave 1 second after you click the template, and then the next one will wait for however long you tell it. Now, if it's just one camp after another, I've found for me and my slow old internet and the glitchiness, etc., that I use 40 seconds. So because I want him to clear 2 camps, and you're going to think this is going to take forever, I'm going to set it to 75 seconds. So 75 seconds after the first one leaves, the second one is going to leave its campsite. And that's good. All right. Now, my advice is to overestimate and then edit later. Come back and edit it later. And I'll do another video on how to edit that in a text editor. So the third one goes to the one that's 8091. And in fact, that is the end camp of Sector 2. So it's here. And again, it's got to clear a couple of things. So I'm going to set that to 75 again. Now, Mundane Warfare is not for people who like to get their adventures done quickly. It is for people like me who have it sitting in the background and every now and again you want to go and attack something. This way I can attack 3 things at once, or if I take all 7 of my ghost generals that are done like this, I can attack 7 camps, one after the other. And I'm not trying to show off, I'm just saying that I've got, 5 Borises and Dorises that I can send off, so I can do things in big waves. And that's what all my guides are set up for. So I've done that. I'm now going to save that as a template, and I'm going to click on the one I had before, and you can see I've done a few of this now. I've done one for Besieged City. I just finished that. I've done one for a TOW, Treasure of Wisdom. I haven't done a whole one for Treasure of Knowledge. I will. I've done one for VLT. There's a sensible one, and get rid of all my recruits that I've accidentally made one. And here I've got my 3GG loader, and I'm going to change this, and I'm going to call it S1 plus 2. No, I'm just going to call it S1 S2. All right, so I'm saving this as S1 S2, my template. Do that. Again, I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to my shortcut. I'm going to go options. I want to put it into my YWC ghosts partition. I'm going to add an army. I'm going to grab that. template. Where did I put it? There. No, that's a Boris one, Peter. There. Open. And I'm just going to go S1 plus S2. So I know what it is rather than just having the template name there. I'm going to hit my save changes. I'm going to close. I'm going to check that out. Here it is, my 3 ghosts, army S1, S2. They've got the right people in it. They can go to the right place. And so we're going to hit send. Well, not send, we're going to hit attack. So I'm going to let it run. And I'm also going to, then I'm going to speed it up and you can see it run in 5 times the speed maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So there goes GG1. He's off. He's going to attack these 3 camps. GG2 will then take on this guy, and then GG3 will take on the last 2 camps in Sector 2. Okay, there goes GGO2. They've left 75 seconds after the first guy left. You'll see the first one's just finishing up that first camp. He will go over here a little bit towards the leader camp, but then we'll get intercepted by this camp. Cross our fingers that he gets intercepted before he gets to the camp, before the other one gets intercepted. And this is all we've got to play with here. And we can play with those numbers at the start. Don't like my chances. So I'll need to play with the numbers in that. It's not going to affect it too much. I mean, I'll wait it out and see how it goes and see if he gets through his camps before GG3 ends up catching up to him. He should. He's only got 2 camps to get through. He's nearly finished that one. Here comes GG3, but GG2 is off. So he should have plenty of time to get to his first camp, which is this one here. And I'm talking an awful lot for letting you watch it in fast. Okay, there GG2's finished his first camp. Or her first camp, should I say, given they're ghost generals. Finished that first camp well before GG3 got anywhere near it. So there's not going to be an issue with the generals getting out of whack. So you can just watch the rest of this. I'll speed this up again. So I'll come back to you when they're back home again. Okay, as GG3 arrives back at his camp, you notice I've moved 1 and 2, and I've also moved Quentin, my quartermaster, off. I'll show you why in a minute, but I'm just going to move these guys to their next starting position, their next base there, and we'll come back when they arrive. All right, GG3 is coming in to land. Let's have a look. The next 2 are attack 4 and attack 5 that I'm going to do. So attack 4 is 50 and 180. So I'm just going to go in here and I need to do something first. I'm going to get rid of all of Quentin's troops except for one mounted marksman. This is a trick I do, because when I want to fill him back up, he's got something in there and I don't have to wait to swap from standard to standard units to elite units. So, not much of a trick, I know. I said this was 180 and this would be 50. And my second one here is 3200. That's just how my brain thinks. 30 here, 200 there. And I'm going to do the same with GG3 as I did with Quentin. I'm just going to leave one mounted marksman in there so when I need to change it over, she will be easier to change. So I've loaded it up. This is the second part of the process. So I've changed the load. I've put them in their places, and now you need to change their load, change where they're going, and now you need to do Mundane Warfare, and I'm going to add all of them. Okay, so that will move when you use this template. It will move them. It will ask you to load it and then move it, so you can do it in that order. But when you're setting it up, you've got to move it, then load it, and then set it up. So 5180, move this back a bit. 5180 is going to 44, so it's going to the 7070. So I've got to find that. So here, there's the 7070. That is the camp it's going to. I know that because I've done these young woodcutter templates so many times it's not funny. That's the camp I want to send him to, and he's going straight. She's going straight away. This one I want to send to that leader camp. That's this one. Yes, it'll get intercepted along the way, etc. Because that first camp is so close, I can probably go 45, 50 seconds rather than 75 seconds. And the last one, the GG03, I'm not sending, so I'm not going to select anything, and it will just sit there. So I'm going to save that as a template, come down to where I was saving it before. Yeah, YWC is that, and I just want to save that as sector 3, go save, hit close, put it in my shortcuts options, go to YWC3 ghosts, add an item, army, down again. Yes, I could use the keyboard if I could be bothered. There, battle YWC, and I'm going to call that S3. I'm going to hit save changes, close, check that it is right, S3. Yep, they're right. And then I'm going to send them to attack. And I will pick you up again when I've moved these guys all up to this area here to attack Sector 4. So while GG2 is arriving, I'm going to show you that this one's a little bit different. It's actually a bit easier because this general here is going to this bandit leader and he'll be intercepted by that camp first. And GG2 is going to this bandit leader and be intercepted by that camp and go there. But they don't intersect. They don't have a common general in place there. GG2 won't be intercepting be intercepted by this camp. So I can set them up to leave at the same time. I've also noted, you've probably also noticed I moved 3. He's just still got that one mounted swordsman, mounted whatever it is, mounted marksman sitting in there, and I moved it. I could have done General 1 and 3 to do these 2 camps, but then when I move to the next spot, I'm just going to have to wait for 2 as well, so I might as well wait and bring them all up. That's my opinion. You do you. That's what I'm saying. You do. I bet. Oh, no. I just thought I wasn't recording, but I'm using a different microphone. So this guy's going to sit here. I'm going to leave Quentin here. You may ask, why did you move Quentin there? You have to wait to the next start, the last set of attacks to find out why. So, Specialist, Mundane Warfare. I want everybody, but I'm going to take out Quentin. That's my quartermaster, Quentin the quartermaster. My other one's called Quiver. This guy here is going to, this one is going, oh, see, now the sectors are wrong. So I actually want sector 5 here. This guy, the first guy, is going to that general, and the second one is going to this general. So all I did was just had to change from 4 to 5 there to get the right generals. They're going like that. They're not pausing at all because they won't be, they don't have any generals in common in their attack. So I'm going to do that. Save down here. Where am I going? Oh, YWC, not Boris, 3GG. No, I don't want to replace it. Don't replace it. That would be bad. All that work I would have done would have been for nothing. So I want S4. I want to save. I'm going to close. I'm going to put it into my shortcuts and work out that it works. Okay, rather than I'm just trying to cover off as many bases here. Add army down here. YWC 3GG S4. This is my sector 4. I'm going to save, close, and check from here. Like that. My armies are loaded. I'm going to hit attack, and I'll see you when I'm setting up for the final attack. All right. So I've put these 3 guys in place here. I've loaded them up with the right troops, and now I'm ready to do my Mundane Warfare for the last one. I'm not going to touch Quentin again at this point. I'm just going to leave him with his 1 mounted marksman in there. These guys we need to select the right one. The first one is going to the 90-70-20. 90-70-20, yep, that's the right one. The next one is going to, not the 100-100 because it's in a chain, it's doing the 50-70-40. There it is, 50-70-40, that's the correct one. We are going to leave it 40 seconds. And the last one is going to the boss camp, the last one there, and we're going to leave that, I feel like 45, just to give it time to do the middle camp there. Save. Down here to YWC 3GG, and we're doing S5. We're going to hit save. We're going to close. We're going to put it into our shortcut menu again. Options, change partition, tool, my 3 ghosts. We're going to add an army, and we're going to choose our template that we just created. Open, call it S5, and we're going to save the changes. Now, I know I've been playing this for about an hour recording this. I can tell because there's a timer on my screencasting software. But it won't take me an hour the next time. And you never have to look at the guide again. Everything's set up for you. That is the beauty of this. So if I want to do my 3 ghosts, I just load. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do that. I'm going to send these guys. And now why is Quentin sitting here? Quentin's sitting here so I remember to load him up with all the extra troops. I try and put my quartermaster or whoever I've sent to take all my other troops away somewhere close to where the last base camps is. So I've done that here. He's still got his 1 mounted marksman, and so it's easy for me just to click on all of these and fill him up so that he's ready to go when the rest of this is finished. So that's it. That's how we create our Mundane Warfare. That's how we add it to our shortcuts up here. Now I've got my 3 ghosts shortcuts. I've got a loader. I've got my 1 for sector 1 and 2, my 1 for sector 3, and my 1 for sector 4 and 5. That includes moving all my ghosts around with me. That includes moving my quartermaster general to somewhere near the end. I chose to do a Mundane Warfare with 3 ghost generals because I thought it was a relatively accessible one. If you haven't got 3 ghost generals, I'm sorry. That's just what I did. I could have sent 7 ghost generals. And to be honest, I could have sent 10 and done the whole thing from the start. But that's not helpful. So I wanted to show you how I've put that together. As you can see, I've done YWC for my 3 Dark Lords, I call them. I don't know why, because I'm strange. I've done one for all my Borises. I've done one for that. I've done one for my first Thief. I've done, I did today my BC, my Besieged City, which I seem to keep getting in my Pathfinder all the time. So you see that's got 10 sectors to do. Well, it's not true. It's got 10 loads of the army. Some of those sectors, I think sector 2 takes 2 loads to do, and sector 3 takes 2 loads. And in fact, the last sector, the final set of camps, is actually those 3. And I've also got a TOW, Treasure of Wisdom there, so you can see that takes 8 loads. So you can add partitions, you can add partitions inside partitions, and all sorts of that. Okay, so hopefully this helps. Ask questions if you need. I'm happy to help. But that's what I find these Mundane Warfare is good for. Not only that, I can send a group of generals off to an adventure and not have to worry about it because everything I need to send gets sent. All I've got to do is hit 2 things and I've done the next section of the sector. And so it's perfect for me who has it sitting in the background, and all I want to do is play every now and again, and I can send the next lot of generals off, go back to my main island, check out what's going on there, pick up all the collections, send off my explorers, etc., which I do all from inside here in my shortcuts. You can see I've got all sorts of things set up. These are just my general Stacey's. If I just want to send some minor subset of my ghost generals that I've got set up that way. So yeah, and I've even got buffs and rainbows and all sorts of things set up there. So they're sitting in my shortcuts. There we go, we're finished. I can now just go quest completed, click my button, because I remembered to stack Quentin up with all the other troops, and I can return home. There you go, just over an hour to set it up, and it would take much less than an hour to play. Thanks guys, hope you enjoy. Bye.